Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday evening.
I feel like I'm really hoping you're not going to judge me because I'm in my John Bottoms.
OMG.
I'm in my Sonic the Hedgehog pajama bottoms. Though if anyone has, I'm also in odd socks. That's really glamorous, isn't it? I mean, they're both Muppets. Like this one's Kermit and this one's Fozzie Bear.
I'm in odd socks.
Are you in odd socks as well?
Yeah,
do you know what? Our standards have just gone completely down the
That's what happens when you don't leave the house.
You just
look at this.
You're lucky I've shaved. I have actually shaved today, and though my hair is getting shaggy, I feel like this is going to be, this whole COVID thing is more going to be a documentation of people getting hairy and fat. Like that's what's happening to me right now. I'm getting hairy and I'm putting weight on, which I mean is fine.
I've started skipping, so I'm skipping, fellow leggers. Things you can do when you've got a small space. I mean, what are you doing?
How are you
in this theatre shutdown to keep
burning your energy?
Busy.
That's what we want to know.
That's a statement. I mean, Simon. I imagine that's the
they are a statement, aren't they? But do you know what? I love them. If anyone that knows me knows that I'm a massive retro gaming fan. Like I always say that I was.
I don't think we ever got enough likes to show your tattoo, did we?
No. Oh, what a shame. But
I think we might have come close. I need to check that video. It was Be More Chill.
Oh, Juanita's doing Just Dance. Nice. Ooh. That's how you're keeping fit. That's good fun. There's a dance on Broadway. Should we get it? 1 sec. Keep filling.
There's a dance on Broadway. Is this a Wii game? Do we need to let people know what this is when we're saying Just Dance?
Yeah.
It's a Wii game, basically. And you've got to move about, jiggle about. I think it's one of the Little Leggers games. Yeah,
the Little Leggers do like the Wii, to be honest. But there is this. There's Dance on Broadway with songs from like Chicago, Hair, Dreamgirls, the whole shebang. So that's good fun. That'll keep you fit, won't it? Depends how much you do. Oh, good. Jade's been doing it. Good. Shake and Blake, we're doing all right. Drinking and eating.
I went shopping in Aldi. I went in with my aunt. Does anybody else go with the mask? Like, I'm not sure what it's like in London, but last week when I went shopping, there were loads of people with masks. This time, not so much. So I'm not sure what's going on with that.
The safety standard slipping.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Interesting
stuff.
Well, we might all get locked in the house soon, mightn't we?
If people keep on going out and partying.
Stay at home. I mean, it's really, literally, the only instruction is do nothing. That should be the easiest thing to do, right? It's not do more, it's do less. I mean,
come on. What have we got to look forward to this evening, Simon? What are you doing?
We are going to be looking, because apparently you guys wanted it. I put a bit of a question thing out on Instagram to say, I've got a Playbill collection. I've got a massive programme London, West End, UK tour collection as well. I don't even know where to start to begin with that, but I've got a sort of fairly limited Playbill collection. I just thought you might be interested in seeing, and apparently you are. So we're going to be talking about that tonight, talking through my memories of those shows, if I've got any, my thoughts on them. Some of them are signed. Might talk about that as well.
It's going to be interesting. This is, we say we, but it's very much Lego Simon. This is Lego Simon's collection, and it is pretty impressive. But the signatures, I think, the signings, the autographs are pretty impressive. Let's have some more drink matinee, Mike. And hello, John Cullen.
See what I've got here.
What does it say? I'll drink to that.
I'll drink to that. It's my company.
It's not a hot drink in there, is
It's
there?
not a hot drink, love.
What's
it's a whiskey and Pepsi Max, not Spond. Not Spond.
Shake and Blaken says that they have a great Playbill collection as well.
Good. I wonder if you've got any that I've got. I'd be interested to hear if you've got
Show
any.
me yours. And
the lovely Sean is there, theatre fan official. Give him a follow. He's great with the gods.
Hey, Sean.
Where's the tea? Well, you'll find it with Sean. Where you find it.
Oh, and aren't we being joined by someone who is down under, and it's 4:30 in the morning?
Yes.
Hello, fellow legger.
Hello, fellow legger down under. If you're here, let everybody know that you've got up.
Yes.
We got a message to say you were getting up specifically at 4:30 a.m. Australia time to join us, and then you take a nap later in the day, because that's how you roll.
That's dedication.
That is dedication.
Dedication.
Thank you, fellow legger. West End quiz, hello. Hopefully we can join you too. Oh, Sean. It's nothing more than you deserve. Nothing less than you deserve. I'll have another shot.
We did a quiz. Some of you were with us on Sunday evening. Thank you for your help, fellow leggers.
That Jordan Lee Smith organised.
It was tricky.
It was hard work.
Out of the 70.
Even with what I consider to be a pretty good knowledge of theatre, we still struggled.
Yeah, we got half right. That's right.
50%, yeah.
Good morning to West End Quiz.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning. Carlos, lovely joining us from Berlin, where we're supposed to be, like, in a week's time. Sorry. This one's having a special birthday.
Was due to be.
And we'll now be locked in the house instead of going to Berlin.
Yeah.
That sucks, doesn't it? The lovely producer extraordinaire, Mr. Jack Maple. Hello. Nice to see you. Martin, sending all of our love. Yeah, so, what's going on? Is anything else happening with you? What have we been doing? We're doing anything stagey?
We've been with the Little Leggers, is what we've been with. What we did do at the weekend is we each made a play for each other to read. We each did scripts.
You had this idea that Shakespeare only used to give the actors the lines that they had to read rather than the whole
cues, and we each had 40 minutes to write
a play for each other.
And
then we had a table reading.
And that was fun.
It was fun.
Little Leggers like that. That was good fun.
Hello.
Hey, Glauco.
Yeah, it was good fun.
Shall we get cracking?
Shall we get cracking, guys? Shall we do the Playbills? Well, we thought you might want to see a bit more of Legger Towers. So
I'm going to switch over.
Taking you to the
don't go anywhere just yet.
Le Boudoir. I don't want to come across as sleazy, like I'm like come with us to the boudoir, but I thought it might be a bit relaxed because this is Leggers Lockdown Live. I'm already in my pyjamas pretty much. I don't wear this around the house. I've only put this on for videos. Probably could do with washing actually. I'm scared to. I mean, how do you wash things?
We are dismounting. Are you ready to go?
Oh, we're dismounting. Right.
Lead the way.
Let's go then. Follow me. Come with me. If you want to see more, come with me. Let's go. So we'll head out here.
Do a Patti LuPone when you're doing
what's this? Oh, see the.
Do something Patti LuPone.
The jukebox. The front door. The front door, guys. It's open. It shouldn't be open. Let's just shut that. So come up here. The RCA dog just down there. Let's go up here. So well. Let's head upstairs. Here's our sign poster from the original off-Broadway cast of Heathers. Got this with David Mamet when we were rehearsing the Woods at Second Stages. Funnily enough, though, this was on at New World Stages, so sort of close, right? I think it's close by. Anyway, let's go through here. These are the little Leggers bedrooms, front and back. Apparently, this says a lot about them. Insanely cute is Spencer, because also insane. He's a bit of a crazy boy. And here, he's put this on his door because he's got attitude. Little Legger Lincoln, bit of a diva. Anyway, going through here. Massage table. Not massage table, actually, I wanted to point this out. This is a lovely anniversary card that John and Glauco gave to us when we saw them, two fellow Leggers, lovely fellow Leggers who are watching right now. Hello. When we saw them in Manchester, we were just celebrating our second wedding anniversary. So that's just up in the bedroom at the moment. It's just there. Anyway, come on in. So yeah, some shit over there. That's what Patty would say. Anyway, the bed. Right. Where do we keep our Playbills? Big TV, showing Grease live. Probably get copyright struck if we show too much of this, so fair rights usage. Because we watch a lot of musicals in bed, clearly. Just down here is where I keep my Playbill collection. And I'm just going to pull this one out completely at random, and talk to you about it. So, let's get comfortable. Is everyone even still there? Because I can't see the comments anymore, so I don't know what you're talking about.
They're just watching.
Are they just
I think everyone are just
dumbfounded?
dumbfounded and watching.
What is this?
Yeah, I'll let you know any comments.
So these lovely Playbill, official Playbill folders, you used to be able to get them on the Playbill website. I don't know if you still.
What's your hand? What does it say? Just so we can see the official. There we go.
It just says Playbill in the official font, and they are perfect for storing Playbill collections. Not the cheapest option, and you do have to buy. I think you get a limited number of inserts for them to put your Playbills in, but you have to buy more if you need them. And I've stuffed these out to the max.
Glauco's asking, who's the big spoon when watching the telly?
We flip flop, don't we? Really. Who's feeling most needy that day? I think.
And also, Tom's JS is saying we have that same phone box poster in our spare room.
In this one?
HMV.
Yes, I mean, it's rainbow, isn't it? And it's London, two things that we love.
And we're being asked, we've been told a bit disappointed that we're drinking from the company mugs and not from the Bal mugs.
Well, do you know what? We only own one Bal mug. But
between the two of us.
A plethora of theatre-y, stagey type mugs. Maybe we'll do a mug collection video if you can be asked.
Okay.
At some point. So, Playbills. Well, I did sort of have a little look through these earlier, and I'm not going to lie, I did put them into a bit of an order, vaguely, roughly. I wanted to start with this one, actually. This is a playbill from the original Broadway production of Hairspray. And the reason I wanted to start with this is I first went to New York in 2007 and stayed with my good friend Mitchell, who a lot of these for shows that I haven't seen are from him. He keeps me in loot. So big shout out to Mitchell.
It looks as if you've let like a kid loose with like a Sharpie. What's happened there? Just scribbled all over it.
The day I got to New York, before I'd even, I think we went to the apartment and set down the bags and went straight down. I hadn't even changed, straight into the heart of Times Square, and went to the first ever Broadway show I saw that night. I managed to get rush tickets for Hairspray that very evening, and it was the first Broadway show I ever saw. Now, back then, 2007, I was very young. And Stage Door Johnny. I was an absolute Stage Door Johnny, so I wanted to go to the Stage Door after the show, which is a military operation on Broadway. It's starting to become a little bit more like that in the West End now, where they have barriers out. It never used to be like that, and more of an American thing. So they had barriers out. And the nicest thing happened. Alexa Vega was playing Penny Pingleton in this particular cast for the original production. And she was speaking to me over the barrier and said, "Oh, you're from England?" And I said, "Oh yeah, literally just got here today. This is my first ever Broadway show." And she was like, "You're going to want an experience then." She said, "Come round the barrier, I'll take you backstage." Alexa Vega, she was from Spy Kids, in the Spy Kids films. Repo, the genetic opera, who's seen the movie of that, she's also in that, took me onto the stage at the Neil Simon Theatre. She took me into her dressing room, she took me to the wig room. I had pictures with the big Hairspray can that comes out during the You Can't Stop the Beat number, and it was just an amazing experience, and it was so beautiful.
Wow, Matinee Mike says that he's queening out already because Hairspray was his first West End show.
Oh, wow.
So from Broadway show to West End show.
Also had Ashley in it from O-Town. Does anybody remember O-Town, My Liquid Dreams? They were like an MTV reality band. He was playing Link at the time in this, and also quite impressive if you're American, if we've got an American out there, Jerry Mathers, who was best known for playing Beaver Cleaver in an American show called Leave It to Beaver. For 234 episodes in the 50s and 60s, was playing Wilbur, and he's a legend. He's known as a big icon.
Beaver Cleaver, sure, it's not a porn name.
It does sound like a porn name.
Lots of people, lots of our leggers are like, wow, that's an amazing story. It's lovely, what an experience.
Yeah, it was a great experience. Right, moving on, because we've got about 20 minutes.
How long we got? We haven't eaten dinner yet. Come on, flash through them. Keep us engaged, right? Keep us interested.
So, Deuce, before I'd even saw my first Broadway show, happened to be walking past the Music Box Theatre as the play Deuce was kicking out of it.
Who was in Deuce? Why should we be interested?
Angela Lansbury.
Oh.
And also the late, great, she died just recently actually. Let me get we had an understudy on, apparently. I'll tell you a cheeky story. So we were walking past and people were there and Angela was out and had nothing to sign, but someone had just dumped this in the gutter. I picked this up from the floor.
What?
I know, right? I'm not above it. I'm absolutely not above it. But yes, we had Angela Lansbury and Marion Seldes, who recently passed away, unfortunately. I only got Angela because I was on the side of the barrier that she
signed by Angela.
Signed by Angela Lansbury.
She didn't do a lot of signing when she was over here. She kind of was very covert, coming in and out of the stage door.
Yeah, we were having a drink at the bar across the road and we saw her arrive and somebody had something there to sign and she just said,
walked on by.
And just walked away. So, I mean, that's quite rare, isn't it?
Denied.
Moving on, also at that time, in that trip in 2007, playing just opposite the music box at the Walter Kerr Theatre, is the original Broadway production of Grey Gardens, which was a transfer onto Broadway from off-Broadway, but kept the same little lady, the lovely Christine Ebersole, who I offended quite badly.
What do you mean you offended quite badly?
So I knew the story. I mean, it's a legendary LGBT popular film.
It was something you introduced me to.
Yeah.
It was
so Grey Gardens
initiation.
It was a documentary, turned into a musical, then turned into a movie, actually, sort of dramatised, but with Drew Barrymore, who was excellent in that. Oh, and the one that I love as well.
Who's that?
I can't remember her name.
Okay.
Who was in the Grey Gardens film? She's in American Horror Story. She was in The Politician. I love her.
I know the woman, the older one.
What's her name?
I don't know, but I know you love her.
It's totally gone out of my head. I do love
American Horror Story, yeah, I know
she
the
was
one
in
you mean.
She was in the movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, Christine Ebersole, I said to her at the stage door, I got this signed and said, she said, you're from London. That, in America, like, if you're from London, it's a free pass.
Jessica Lange,
Jessica
has
Lange,
said.
Thank you.
Thank you, Theatre Fan Official.
Love her in everything she's ever done. I think she's incredible. And Christine Ebersole said, oh, we're hoping to take the show to London. And I said to her, well, the thing is, the documentary's not really that well known in the UK. Like, it's a certain sort of, person that knows that musical, knows the documentary. And also, it's about American politicians and your American royal family, proxy royal family. I don't know how well it would do. I don't think that's what she wanted to hear.
Oh dear.
I know, but
at least you're being honest.
We saw it years later at Southwark,
and it was amazing.
It is amazing.
Phenomenal. Just to pause, our fellow Leggers are very impressed by the pristineness of your collection.
I mean,
it's a good thing that they're all the same size. Although Glauco is saying that his OCD is kicking in and they should be in alphabetical order.
Oh, sorry, Glauco. I always tell Leg and Nathan, because you're not that bothered by merchandise, are you? Like,
no, unless it's a mug, because then it's practical.
You like it to have a use.
I'm a bit weird. Otherwise, I'm like, what's the point?
But I always say these are your legacy. Like, if I died tomorrow, this is your inheritance.
It's true.
So I have to look after them, because this is all I'm passing on, guys. Ain't no bank account.
Get a good $5 for the whole set, right?
This production of Hair, 2000, and you tell me, Leggers, 2008, maybe. My friend Mitchell got me this signed. I don't know who these signatures are, if I'm going to be honest with you. But this production came over to London in the West End with the entire Broadway cast, and I have on the wall in the dining room a signed poster from that production with the whole Broadway cast.
2008?
2008. I could
Shake and Blake insane.
I could probably try and work out who these are, but people in this cast that have gone on to do incredible things or had already done incredible things. Gavin Creel, Will Swenson, Casey Levy. It was a sensational production of a show which I absolutely love.
Hi, Mitch. I think it's Mitch. Mitch Wills. Oh, this looks... Who's
I didn't
this?
get this signed either. But I was lucky enough to be gifted this. This is a production, Donmar Warehouse production of The Blue Room, directed by Sam Mendes, which transferred to Broadway, starring Nicole Kidman. And this is Nicole Kidman's signature, who was last seen in the West End in Photograph 54, right?
54. Was it 54 or 51? Am I thinking of Area 51? I'm thinking of Area 51. We did see that. It's one of the ones we saw today. Oh, it's Mitchell. I thought it was Mitchell.
Hello, Mitchell. Who's responsible for this?
Is it our Mitchell? I'm not sure. Comment below if it's our Mitchell.
Also, the guy that was in Ian Glenn.
Ian Glenn, yes.
Game of Thrones, you said.
Game of Thrones is his big recent one.
But he was also, I want to say, Olivier nominated for Martin Guerre.
He was in Martin Guerre. I don't know if the show, whether he got an Olivier. Oh, is he looking in the programme? I was going to ask our Leggers. It is Al Mitchell, by the way.
Oh, it is. Thank you for these. Like, most of these are from him. So, well, not, I'd say, yeah, most of them, to be honest. Some of them are myself. So, Ian Glenn, it said Olivier nomination for Best Actor in a Musical, Martin Guerre.
Wow.
So, yeah.
There we go. I didn't think it ran long enough.
I I thought you said you didn't think it was good enough.
Well, I did see him
like
in
that
it
show,
as well. I love the orchestrations, but the show left me wanting.
Mm.
Some of the best scoring and orchestrations out there.
I don't know it at all.
How do you store your British programs? I'm keen to see if it's as immaculate.
No, it's really not. It's a
Should
big
go through them one day.
box, literally boxes and boxes, 4 boxes. Big,
It's
you know,
more
like
than
under
that.
the bed storage.
We've got loads of
Big
them.
boxes just stacked up on one another. I mean, they're fairly neat, and they're not all tatty, but they're not in lovely presented.
Because they're not all
are.
the same size like this.
Now, obviously a classic, Wicked. I've actually got 1, 2, I want to say 3 Wicked programs.
Why have you got 3? What's the
reason
difference?
I keep 3 and I keep 3 in here is because they all mean something quite different to me. Now, this was the first one I ever got. This would have been 2006, I think. A friend of mine at the time, not in touch anymore, called Eden, actually his name was, went to see Wicked, and he entered the lottery that they do at Wicked and got front row tickets for the show. And he bought me back this Playbill, which I mean is a nice thing to do. Like, and he knew I loved the show, and by this point it was still a year off coming to. Oh no, it was about. This would have been February 2006, and it came October 2006 to West End. So it still hadn't hit the West End. I may have seen bootlegs, maybe not. But Eden Espinosa was playing Glinda, and he was sitting front row, and he said to me, well, I was sat front row, and during the One Short Day in the Emerald City scene, somebody came to the front of the stage with a feather boa. If anyone knows that, they'll know exactly the character and the costume that is. Susan Hilferty's amazing costumes. And as she span around to return upstage, a feather from her feather boa fell out and just drifted down and landed right in front of me. So I picked it up for you and I put it in here. So that's cute.
Wow, that's cute. So that's one of them.
That's one of them.
Because you got a little feather from that
production,
that costume.
In there, in immaculate condition.
Yeah.
An immaculate sort of person.
So what about the next one?
The next one. So this one is special because it was the first ever, signed by the first British Elphaba to play the role on Broadway. Who is it, fellow leggers? Who was the Elphaba, first British Elphaba to go to Broadway?
Oh, I know this. I know this. Okay.
Unless it's signed by them.
Okay, I'll let you know when a legger comes through.
Come on, leggers.
Okay, keep on moving on then.
Okay. And this one was when I went to Broadway and Julia Murney was playing the role. Julia Murney is amazing. Have we got a winner?
We have Matinee Mike was the first,
Ding, 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 ding,
quickly
ding.
followed by Mitchell.
Yes.
It's Kerry Ellis.
It is
so Kerry Ellis has signed that one. So she did it in the UK in West End and then went over to Broadway.
She did. She was originally Idina Menzel's understudy.
What?
I had heard that. I don't know how well they got on.
Oh, really?
I don't know if there's a story there.
Because they met again when they did chess over here at the Colosseum, didn't
because
they?
as Chicago taught us, you don't have to like the person that you work with, right, to be a success. That's what Chicago has taught us.
It can add something.
Yeah.
It can bring some spice.
It can bring some spice.
Before you move on to Follies, John is asking, what is it about programs that makes you want to collect them? Because he only buys for shows that he's really keen on.
I never don't buy a program. For me, I love it, especially if I've seen the show, because I want to be able to look back when my memory is failing and see names and be reminded of what we've seen. More so before we started the Leggers, to be honest, because now we have a documentation of everything we see in video form, so I'll be able to watch those. When we buy them now with the Leggers, it's because we need them for names.
We need to be able to work out who the creatives are.
Yeah, we have to have that information, so mainly it's out of necessity. Previous to that, it was just the only way I could keep track of what I'd seen, or was a way that was visual for me and that I really liked to have. I know Scott Bird is a big fan of collecting programs as well. I love your friend Scott. Moving on, one of my favourite shows.
Is this one signed or who's in the cast?
It's not signed, but the reason I've got it in here is because it was a really impressive cast, including we've got Bernadette Peters, legend. Danny Bernstein, amazing. Elaine Page, last time Elaine Page was on Broadway, where she played Carlotta, in Follies here with a number. What's Carlotta's big number?
In Follies?
Yeah.
I don't know. What one is it?
I'm Still Here.
I'm Still Here.
She sang that on Broadway.
We're being asked by, I think it's Jamie Pigeon, if Only Fools and Horses programme is on the dartboard.
Moving on.
Hanger Green's asking if Follies was your favourite.
Martin, of course it was. It's another one that Mitchell got me. Again, what a sensational cast. Fully signed by the leading 4 people in this. 9 to 5, the musical, the original Broadway production. So we've got Stephanie J. Block, Megan Hilty, Alison Janey, and who was the guy? It was, oh gosh.
Who the Hoff took over from Brian...
Who Brian Conley played in the West End.
And then the Hoff.
And then the Hoff. It was Mark Kudish, of course it was Mark Kudish. So who was the original? What's the name of that character?
I don't know. But Theatre Fan Official was saying that he would have loved to have seen the original Broadway production of 9 to 5. And while I'm here, hello all silly sloth. He's just said hello.
Stephanie J. Block's rendition, I mean, there's a cast recording, so at least you can hear it, but her Get Out and Stay Out is sensational. Like, she's absolutely incredible. This is one that I personally got. I have a photo somewhere of meeting this guy. This is a play called Talk Radio.
Okay.
Liev Schreiber, I mean, probably best known to me as playing Cotton Weary in the Scream franchise. He's in all 3 Screams, but he's only in Scream 1.
Playing which part, sorry?
Cotton Weary.
Which is that, like the sheriff guy?
No, that's David Arquette.
You mean there's more than just him in all 3 of them?
Yeah.
Okay, I need to watch
Cotton
him
Weary
again.
was the one that was accused of Maureen's murder.
Okay. Franklin Hart Jr. is the character name in 9 to 5.
Franklin Hart Jr. is. Liev Schreiber. Bonus points. I know he's got a really famous, beautiful wife.
Who? Franklin Hart Jr.?
No, Liev Schreiber.
All right.
If anyone can find out who that is, then bonus points to you. I can't
Okay,
remember.
what's his name again?
Liev, L-I-E-V,
Liev Schreiber has got a really beautiful wife.
Beautiful, famous wife.
Okay.
At least he did it this time. I don't know if they're still together.
It might be on his multiple. 2007,
this play was on Broadway at the Longacre Theatre. Just again, it happened to be in the area. Didn't see the show, but managed to just grab him on the way out because I was such a stage door Johnny back then.
Naomi Watts?
Naomi Watts, yes, you're absolutely right.
There you go.
We don't stage door anymore, really. I was talking to Matt and Mike about this the other day, and I think the last time we really made a point of stage dooring was Orlando Bloom and Killer Joe.
I also remember we saw Bryan Cranston at the stage door.
Yeah, that was before that, though.
Or was it before?
That was Network.
Yeah.
Because how often do you get the chance to meet Bryan Cranston?
Yeah.
I mean, that was a bit of a sensation. And we got him to say, hello, fellow leggers. Oh, hello, breaker leggers. So if you go back to our Network video, not right now.
Right at the very end, he did say, it's the breaker leggers.
So that was nice of him too. I mean, he was completely railroaded into it. We didn't even much choice. 2 Newsies programmes. Why? 2 Newsies programmes. Why? Well, I'll tell you why there's 2 Newsies programmes. This one, original cast. Who played? What's the name of that character? I'm not trying to give it away.
Who, the lead guy?
Yeah. What's the name of the character? Jack. Who was Jack in the original cast of Newsies?
Is this another quiz? This is like turning into a quiz. A Theatre Fan Official is doing pretty well so far, so I'm waiting for him to come in. While we're waiting for that response, you've been asked: Is it Jeremy Jordan?
It is Jeremy Jordan.
Oh, that goes to Tom's JS. Well, just pipped by Theatre Fan Official, followed by Jade Starr, then Shaken Blaken. Oh my goodness, they're on it. Is there a Broadway show that you didn't see that you wish you had? What would it be?
Back in 2007, very, very, very almost saw Rent. The original production, which was still running in the Nederlander by then, and sort of for legacy's sake, wished that I had. I have a playbill, but didn't actually. I ummed and ahed about it and didn't go in the end, and I sort of wish I had have seen Rent.
But it'd been paying for quite a while by then, right?
Yeah, it was on the way out. I think it ended that year, so it would have been the last chance. I think just after I left New York, they announced that Adam Pascal and Anthony Rapp were going back into it. And if that had been the case, I would have definitely have seen it. But it wasn't that cast while I was there. But just to see that production, and I know there's live on Broadway filmed, but to be in that space and to sort of feel the aura of Jonathan Larson, and just, I think it would have been an experience to be in that space.
Okay.
Also, the second news is...
So the first one is the original cast.
Original Broadway
of
cast.
Muses.
And this one is the cast that we saw
when we went
2014.
to Broadway.
But by then, again, we stage doored. Did we stage door? Oh, we stage doored a little bit. And we'll talk about that in future, because we have some playbills from that time. We didn't stage door for this. But the cast that we saw was Corey Cott in the role of Jack, Andy Richardson in the role of Crutchy, and I seem to remember somebody being fairly big. Can't remember. But anyway, that's if you're interested.
Okie dokie.
That's the performance we saw at 3 p.m. on a Sunday, and that's the
cast list.
So that's why we've got two.
A number of people saying that they want a UK run of Newsies, and Aaron Barker is saying that I think it'd work really well at the Royal Exchange Theatre in Manchester.
Okay. There's talk of it, wasn't there? There was an open casting for it, and it never got off the ground. I believe our friend Alan went to the casting for that.
Okay.
He said that, I mean, if you've seen the choreography for this, it's insane. Like what they do with newspapers and the sort of aerobicism of it all. It's like a gymnasts show. It's crazy.
You mentioned the difference between stage door and Broadway versus West End.
Yeah.
When are you going to talk about that? I'm being asked what the biggest difference would be between the two.
I mean, at the point when I went in 2007, it was the setup, really. It was that whole, the barriers thing was just something I'd not really seen
It's like
before.
they're celebrities, weren't they?
Yeah, like really big. And I remember West End shows just not having that level of security at that time. That's my overriding thing was. It was just people used to wander in and out stage door. It wasn't this whole barrier thing. Also, I do find that, and this is a bit of a sweeping statement, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, but I do find American audiences at stage doors to be a lot more full-on than British audiences. There's a lot of screaming, cheering, whooping, pushing.
Yes.
A lot of enthusiasm, which I'm sure comes from a place of just that, of sheer enthusiasm.
That was my experience as well, because I'm trying to think when we've seen Daniel Radcliffe at the Old Vic, and there's queues of people. Like, that's what you get for every show, whereas over here in the UK, you don't get that as much.
But the thing is, with Daniel Radcliffe on Broadway, that queuing system would be more of a scrum. When he was at the Old Vic, people are orderly. Like, in Britain, we love to queue. Like, that's the biggest difference. It seems to have a sense of order. This one I have in here just purely because, I mean, who isn't in love with Darren Criss? I just want to look at his face. I mean, he's just the most, isn't he? Isn't he just so gorgeous? So this was when he took over from, said Daniel Radcliffe, in How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying.
Big boots to fill.
Big boots to fill, because Daniel really, really worked hard in that show. Really bloody worked hard in that show. This, in my 2007 trip to New York, this was probably my biggest surprise and possibly biggest delight of the entire trip. And I saw some big, good, great shows and met some great people. But Xanadu on Broadway was I think it's because I had no expectations at that point. I hadn't seen the film by then. And it just, for me, now I have seen the film, I can understand a lot of the jokes land a little bit better if you've got that knowledge. But it was so funny, so creative, so tongue-in-cheek, so camp. I adored it, and I had no expectations. The cast as well was amazing. Kerry Butler in the role of Kyra. We've got, okay, bit of a story here. So the person that was playing, hold on. So, let me see if I can find it. Yeah. So, the original Sonny in this was originally meant to be James Carpinello, and it's all on roller skates. If you know Xanadu, it's like I don't think it's got like express level roller skates, but there's a huge amount of roller skating in it. And James fell during previews and seriously injured himself. And they called last minute, very little rehearsal. I don't know, they hadn't understood it going for a while, but they needed a permanent takeover. And they called upon Cheyenne Jackson. So Cheyenne Jackson did, I'm going to say, All Shook Up on Broadway. He's in Glee. He's got a pop career. He's gay, gorgeous. I mean, I would mount him like a horse. But the night that we saw it, we were expecting to get the understudy and actually ended up with his first performance as Sonny. So we had Cheyenne Jackson that night for his very first performance. And at one crucial part in the show, he said, it's all about muses and this thing. And he said, I just need the muse of forgotten lines. And Jackie Hoffman had to feed him a line because he didn't know the show all that well. And we saw his very first one. And it was such a privilege. And he was great in that. He's on the cast recording too.
Lots of people are saying they would have loved to have seen Xanadu. It needs a big production over here. Glauco's saying that they saw the Southwark Playhouse production,
which was really, really good,
which we caught as well, which was really
Alison
fun.
Janney, right?
Yeah.
No, Alison Gia. Even.
Was it Alison Gia?
Yeah, she was in it, right?
I can't remember.
Mary Testa was in this, as was Jackie Hoffman, who I've already mentioned. Jackie Hoffman, Broadway legend, love her. Just popped up in The Politician recently. She was also in Feud. She's insane. But yeah, that was an absolute delight. I would happily see that. Whoopi Goldberg took over from Mary Testa, actually, in that show.
Ooh.
Heathers, New World Stages.
Is that the one we saw?
Yeah, off Broadway. Didn't have anything signed on the playbill because we had the poster out there. So we've got the poster.
Just over there, that's signed.
But we're so lucky to see Heathers, and it was such a scaled down production. The original off Broadway production has no set.
Very minimal.
Very, very minimal. Even more minimal, because even the West End production and off West End was fairly minimal. But this was literally just a couple of blocks in your imagination, but worked so well. Such an amazing score. I had to sell this to Leg and Nathan to go and see it while we were there because he wasn't that bothered. And I was like, it's the people that did Legally Blonde, like it's the people that did Bat Boy.
I think that's how you sold it to me.
The people that did Reefer Madness, for God's sake, like this will be good. And again, it was of that whole. We had some great things booked for that trip, but of that whole trip, it was a real highlight. Real highlight. Fun story with this one. This is the original Broadway production of Curtains. Again, a great cast for this, led by what's his name? Price.
Jonathan.
David Hyde Pierce and Deborah Monk. We also had in this cast Jason Danieley, who was married to Marin. Was it Marin? I've gone blank.
Do you want to ask the Laggers?
Sure.
They're a wealth of information.
So, fun story for this, again, just passing by, didn't see the show, picked up a playbill, went to stage door, got literally the entire cast, got David, and there was a guy who played the critic in it, an actor called John Bolton. And John Bolton was, I don't know, how should we say, a bit taken by me. Got chatting at the stage door, and he said, why don't you come back tomorrow night and I'll take you backstage.
Was it? I've got Maisie, Martin Maisie.
Marion Maisie. Yeah.
Marion Maisie, yes.
The late,
Marion
great
Maisie.
Marion Maisie.
Theatre fan official, and Mitchell are on it.
Yeah. So,
they said, why didn't you come backstage?
Yeah. But, like, I don't think there was anything in it. I think we just got on really well. I mean, he didn't try anything on, if that's what you're suggesting. But took me backstage, and Mitchell, took Mitchell backstage as well.
Oh, wow. Showed
us underneath the stage, showed us costumes, all sorts of things. And that night, we went past David Hyde Pierce's dressing room, and David was like, hi. And Ben Stiller's dad, who's that? What's
okay, he's going to get it first. Who's Ben Stiller's dad?
Ben Stiller's dad. He's in Hairspray. Big.
I don't think they need any more clues. Our leggers are on it.
Waiting.
Well, while you're waiting, John Cullen's asking, why do playbills exist? And why don't the Broadway theatres sell their own programmes?
Interesting. So you can get souvenir programmes on Broadway, generally. So you get a playbill, which are totally free, to tell you who the cast are. Why do they exist? Mainly for advertising purposes. They're full of adverts, as a general rule. They make a lot of revenue for the theatre. And another thing I'll show you in a sec is a fun fact about them. We've got a winner yet.
Well, Glauco's, I think, is on it. He said, obviously, it's Mr. Steele.
Obviously.
Theatre fan official is saying Jerry.
Yeah.
Jerry who?
Jerry who?
Is it Jerry Steele? Is there such a person? Jerry who?
Fun fact. So when a show has been playing a while, if it's no longer making the sort of revenue that it was when it first opened, they tend to print the playbills in black and white, like this main picture.
I need to put my feet up. I've got pins and needles.
With your odd socks.
With my odd socks.
Playbill signature. You're going to offend people that hate feet. People that hate feet, right?
Sorry, feet haters.
This is like signature Playbill yellow, so that's always the same. But this stops being in colour. So when the production is making money and it's running really well and it's successful, etc., they'll print in full colour. And then when they need to start cutting a few costs, they'll print in black and white.
So that's a sign of a show struggling.
Do you know what? It might be a bit of a tell. If a show is struggling.
Is this fact or is this?
Oh, of course it's fact. It's from me, right? But that's why I've got two of these, because one is when it was at its peak, and one was maybe when it wasn't so at its peak. That was when I got the chance to.
Now, someone did mention a little while ago that they loved the UK tour of Curtains that's just been out, and it's a shame. I don't think it's going back out, is it? It's been.
I think it's. We were meant to be seeing it at Wolverhampton, and it, just before the apps fell on everything, so we didn't actually get to see it. Which is
how interesting, says Theatre Fan Official.
This is a playbill for a show directed by my favourite Broadway director.
Is it Mantello, Joe Mantello?
Joe Mantello, absolutely. It's a play about Republican politician family who have a very liberal daughter, causes a lot of tension. Signed, Mitchell got this for me, by a couple of my most favourite actresses on the entire planet. One of which has only recently become a favourite since we saw Apologia, and that's Stockard Channing, because she was sensational in Apologia.
She was great. We were really lucky to be in like the first or second row, I think, as well, in the Trafalgar Studios, which isn't a huge space anyway. And boy, was she good.
She was great.
Talking of which, watching Grease, although it's the live, but you know.
With the lovely Aaron Tivitt.
And the Aaron Tivitt.
And it's great.
Doing a bit of Grease lightning. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Oh, acrobatic. It's like me in the workout in the garden earlier.
Sure.
Okay.
Also in this cast was Judith Light. Judith Light, I mean, she is incredible. I don't think she's ever done anything wrong, apart from, I think she was an addict, right? But, I mean, in her work, she's in Ugly Betty, playing Daniel's mother. She was in The Politician recently with Bette Midler, playing the governor. She was in this, she was in The Normal Heart. Like, she's insanely good. So that's a treasured one. Like, if there's a fire,
this is the one you want to save.
Later,
A few people are saying that they're gutted they missed out on Curtains.
Yeah,
some people were meant to be seeing it in South. Oh, Jamie Pigeon was meant to be seeing it in Southampton. Even though it only had a few dates left after the London run. Yeah, that's when we would have seen it as well.
We should have seen it. Yeah.
Anyway, okay.
Really this one was a gift as well. Broadway production, 2000 and tell me 8, 9 maybe.
Who was in the cast?
Equus. Who was in the cast? Well, it was a transfer, wasn't it? So it took over Daniel Radcliffe and the late Richard Griffiths. Daniel Radcliffe signed this, which is very nice. I hadn't seen the play until we recently saw it at the Trafalgar Studios, which was a transfer from Stratford East.
Hello, Adrian Lowe.
And I didn't like it at all.
Didn't like it at all.
And we were talking earlier about if I'd have seen Richard Griffith in it, would I maybe liked it more? Was it the delivery? But I don't think it was for me. I just couldn't get on with the script. That text for me just felt inaccessible in every way. I wanted to love it. I really did.
We saw the guy who played Judas in like the 2000 or late 1990s production of Jesus Christ Superstar.
He was also in Fun Home.
And he was also in Fun Home. But you didn't like him. That's him. Well done. Yes.
Yeah.
You didn't get on with the piece.
I didn't get on with the piece.
Okay.
I just didn't get on with the piece.
But it did win. It won an Offie or something, some kind of award.
Really?
Did it? Spamalot.
Spamalot. When was this from? I don't know how I came about this. I mean, it would have been Mitchell again, but I don't know why. Was it? What cast was it? Let's find out. Oh, here we go. So Hannah Waddingham, of course, because it's Mitchell's favourite actress. Hannah Waddingham, known for playing in Game of Thrones. What's the character's name?
Isn't she the one that sends
the shame one?
Yeah, she kind of initiates the shame thing.
But she popped up recently.
Oh, she's in Sex Education as well.
She was the original in the Lloyd Webber production of Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
She was Mrs. Gulch, Wicked Witch of the West. She was Spamalot. She did Tonight's the Night. She's amazing. Like, talk about someone that is just a great talent, like, no matter if it's stage or screen.
She does seem to be doing really well on screen as well. Like, she's getting a lot of acting work. Oh, she played Septum Anella, who was the Septum in Game of Thrones.
Sepsis annulment. The thing is with Hannah, there are some... the only other person I can really think of off the top of my head who does this consistently is Cate Blanchett. When I see Cate Blanchett in a part and then I see her in another part, I have to look to see if it's her. The way they take on a role changes their entire being, and I think Hannah can do that. I think she can put on a costume, take on a part, and just become a different person. I really love her. She's so talented.
Shaken Bacon says that they have an interesting story about Spamalot. They saw it before it transferred to Broadway.
Interesting. The Palace.
I'm not sure.
West End.
No more than that. They're just leaving us waiting. That's it.
A Little Night Music. This was the last production that was on Broadway. Which was a transfer, I believe, of the West End show that played at the Garrick.
Okay.
Go for it, Simon. Now, interesting story, and it's actually tied into this one, and this is serendipity. I haven't planned this. Hannah Waddingham played the part of Desiree in the London production, and was believed and hyped up and geared up to go to Broadway with it and reprise the role.
I know this, yeah.
And then somebody approached to say, maybe it was mentioned in the meeting that she could have been great and wanted the part, and Catherine Zeta-Jones got the part on Broadway. One of the biggest upsets of Hannah Waddingham's career.
Can you imagine? There's a lot of love out there for Hannah Waddingham, for the Pirate Queen.
Yeah, she did the concert.
Yeah, saying it blew me away. She 100% transforms into the character. And I could see her rehearse for the Pirate Queen. That was Theatre Fan Official, who was lucky to see that.
Wow. So this is Catherine Zeta-Jones. It's her autograph on this one. If you want to see some incredible neck acting, then look up her Tony Award performance for Sending the Clowns.
When you say her, who's this?
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
I have never seen such...
Can you do a demonstration?
It's like, isn't it rich? Are we up here? She does this thing with her neck, and she's like, me alone, now you in midair, like that. It's honestly, it's insane. Look it up.
Wow.
It's absolutely insane.
Aidan Lowe, our Playbills programs. Yes, we should probably fill in. They're kind of like the Broadway equivalent of a program.
They're more like the Broadway equivalent of a cast slip, because you don't get any production shots. You literally get adverts, a lot of adverts. You get maybe like an editorial about putting a show together, or I think this one's probably about how race is portrayed in theatre. You get a bit of an editorial sort of thing. You'll get adverts for other shows, cross shows as well. You might get, if you're lucky, a little bit about the show that you're seeing. This is quite rare. To have a full colour page about the show with colour photos is really, really rare, but I imagine that their agents insisted. I could only imagine that. But mainly it's cast list, musical numbers, and bios.
So you don't have to spend a fortune. They're usually they're free as well, right?
Yeah, they're free. But the content for the actual show finishes there. It finishes halfway through, and the rest of it, there's a few ensemble people at the back, but it is just advert after advert after advert after advert after advert. Other shows promoting. That's it.
There's a lot of love out there, Lega Simon, for your impersonation of Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Isn't it bang on? I mean, the amount of time I've spent in the mirror doing that.
Lots of laughy, cry faces.
Yeah, that's what she does.
Being told that's what we want to see, Lega Simon. Give us the moves.
Me doing impressions of Catherine Zeta-Jones' neck.
Well, why stop at Catherine Zeta-Jones?
I feel like someone needs to start a fan. Is it too late? Is it more than a decade ago? But there needs to be a fan Twitter for her neck. Because there's bound to be other great neck performances of Catherine Zeta-Jones. What's her neck like in? Was it Entrapment she was in? What's her neck? What was her neck like in My Fair Lady? Oh no, 42nd Street she did. Did you see that?
We need to start a fan page, like Catherine Zeta-Jones' neck.
Did you see 42nd Street when she did it?
Me, no.
And last but not least,
there's another.
Bridges of Madison County.
Oh, Jason Robert Brown, classic.
Kelly O'Hara signed.
Wow, Tony Award winning, eventually.
Yeah, eventually. But this got such... I mean, Jason Robert Brown has never had a hit on Broadway. All of his shows, without exception, fail. He's the modern Sondheim. Like he's the today... So, you know, when Sondheim mounts a show and it just doesn't get popular until after the event sort of thing, that's Jason Robert Brown all over, really. But this But, I mean, 1 Minute and a Million Miles is probably one of the greatest numbers ever sang. Certainly. Absolutely.
It came over, didn't it, to the Menia Chocolate Factory?
Yes, we've...
Did anybody see it? Any of you leggers out there?
We didn't see it, though.
And
it's too expensive.
Yeah.
The Menia, it's got really
told
pricey.
It lacked...
We used to see a lot of the Menia. We don't see so much anymore because it's so expensive. Although if you can get the meal deal, it's better. You should get a full night out and you get a meal.
There we go.
That's number one of the Playbill folders. Is this the sort of thing you want to hear? Do you want to see more impressions of me doing impressions?
If they do,
I've got 2 more of these guys. Talk about productions.
How many? Is it 2 more folders? Are they just down there?
2 more folders worth.
Okay, a few of our leggers saying that they did see Bridges of Madison County. Aidan said that they loved it.
Okay,
Alex Rooms 92 said they had mixed feelings. Theatre Fan Official says it was mixed. And Glauco said it was a bit of a meh.
But surely Jenna Russell wasn't meh. There's nothing about Jenna Russell that is meh.
Right, there's nothing meh about Jenna Russell. Okay, so how was Jenna Russell, fellow leggers?
It's a loaded question now, isn't it? But how was Jenna Russell? She might be watching.
Right, God. Aaron Baker is saying... Oh, Barker, sorry, is saying gutted that I never caught the Menia Chocolate Factory production or the Gielgud Run. There was a Gielgud Run. Also being asked, can we do UK programs? And we were talking about this once we've done our our playbills, maybe fish out what we've got. We've got so much going together.
These playbills, at least there's only 3 folders worth, and something to say about all of them. But there's hundreds and hundreds of the UK ones. I mean, to say that there's 500 would probably be easily
an understatement.
Easily that.
But give us good content. We've been we were in lockdown for a while.
Yeah, I mean, we might just run out of things to do and then have to do them.
Yeah. Glauco saying that she was amazing. This is Jenna Russell in Bridges of Madison County. Sam Newish says, where do I buy those stunning pants?
These. Do you know what? I can't actually remember. I've had them quite a while.
I feel as if I'm going to sneeze.
Oh.
Corona.
Oh, God. So you've just deafened the entire box. R.I.P. headphone users, because you've just had a sneeze. And that was a mild one. He usually sneezes so loudly.
You get so aggravated by my sneezes.
They're terrifying. And they sometimes come with a foot stomp as well. We don't just get the sneeze, we get the boom. So it's too much. What was the question?
Something about pants.
Oh, these. So, my Sonic the Hedgehog ones. I've got 3 pairs of them. I might have recently thrown one away because I had seen better days. I had 3 pairs. 2 of them, I can't remember where I got them from. The third one were a gift from my friend James. They were a Christmas present.
Okay, nice to hear. Theatre Fan Official is saying, yeah, another stream maybe. I presume that's on the Playbills. Probably. Maybe. I think we've got another.
I mean, don't bust a ball.
I think we've probably got another one that's got some good, interesting signatures on.
We've got stuff to talk about.
And Aaron Barker is saying that Jenna Russell was incredible and merrily we roll along.
Yes, she was.
Yes, and he's gutted that he never got to do his production due to the coronavirus disruptions.
Yeah, sorry about that. We did push that on the Anybody Have a Map though.
We did.
I love Merrily. I think it's a great show, and Jenna was perfect for that part. And I love the fact that Maria Friedman directed it, because she's clearly, I think Maria understands it from a performer's point of view, maybe more than some. And I felt that in Jenna's performance, she'd been directed by a performer.
She's just very good, isn't she? She's very good at everything we see. Yeah. Glauco thinks this is a really good idea during lockdown because hey, we've got nothing better to do.
What else have you got to do, guys? Like, we would never make this content every hour reviewing.
Theatre Fan Official has rumbled your wardrobe. He says it's probably from Primani.
It probably is.
He's
from
brought
Primani.
A similar pair from there.
I want to see what they say in the back.
Oh, careful what you flash.
No,
it's turned into a different kind of
I've
show.
had them so long.
I think we've got children in the audience.
I've had them so long, there's nothing on the label
it's
anymore.
Worn out.
So they probably work from Primark. They're ever so comfortable.
John is saying Merrily is one of his favourites. It's one of your favourite Sondheim as well, right?
It's not in my top 3.
What is your top?
Assassins is my top. You know this.
Okay. I don't listen.
I reckon Assassins, then Merrily.
Mm-hmm.
Then Sweeney, but I don't need to see another production of it.
You like Sweeney?
I do like
right,
Sweeney, but
it's coming up to about an hour.
Okay, we need to wrap it up.
We need to go eat.
Yes.
Can you say goodbye for the both of us, because I'm behind the camera?
A pleasure to spend some time with you. Thank you for joining us. I think we should try and host these on the YouTube channel as well, if anybody didn't get a chance to, or if you want to watch it again and see that legendary neck. Someone's going to gift that neck, I reckon. That's going to be it, isn't it? But we
maybe that's something out there. What impressions would you like to see Lega Simon doing? Because you did a bit of Patty.
I did Harvey Firestein.
You did Harvey Firestein the other day when we were doing the quiz. Yeah. And we've had a bit of, you know, really like music.
I could probably do Bernadette. It's a baby voice, isn't it? Bernadette Peters.
How would you do your Bernadette?
I'm not going to give it away now. We have to get more. If we get people actually wanting.
Okay. Anyway, people are saying goodbye.
Yes,
we're logging off and we're staying on.
Stay safe. Stay home if you can. Key workers out there, we are beyond grateful. Key workers obviously includes the people that keep a retail industry going. As somebody that started out in retail, was retail manager, love you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Nurses, the whole lot. The postman. Thank God we're getting mail.
Thank God for Amazon and mail.
Yeah. But yeah, you're all doing it absolutely.
When are we going to see our Leggers again?
I will put up a post on Twitter and Insta about when we'll do the next one. I'm thinking maybe at the weekend.
At the weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, we've got time this weekend, haven't we?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so maybe this weekend.
Yeah.
It's an Easter weekend. It's bank holiday weekend, and we've got nowhere to go.
Yeah. What are you going to watch over Easter? Leave us a comment or something.
Yeah.
That's what we want to know. Right. Love you.
Bye, fellow
Thanks,
Leggers.
Bye.
See you later. Bye.